What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatal Roadie. Tonight we're going to be doing the results of the pay-per-view. Turned out there was an extra match that was added, so I wasn't unable to make a prediction for it. It was Kalisto versus Apollo Crews. It was in the kickoff show. It was a decent match. Titus O'Neil tried to interfere partway through the match, and as a result of it, it ended up costing Apollo Crews the win. I can't remember Kalisto's finishing move, but Kalisto won. Kurt Angle comes out in at the pre-show desk and makes a prediction that Samoa Joe will win the Fatal 5-Way. First match of the night is Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. The stipulation is that if Dean Ambrose gets himself disqualified, he will lose his belt. It was a good match. Dean Ambrose almost hit The Miz with a chair. The referee grabbed the chair and kept him from doing that. Maurice ended up getting onto the apron, and The Miz was goading Maurice to hit him. She slapped him, and before Dean Ambrose got any reaction to it, or I should say before he could react to it, the referee, I guess, realized what was going on and had Maurice ejected, which I guess foiled The Miz's plans for it. While the referee wasn't looking, The Miz pushed Dean Ambrose into the referee, which infuriated the referee. He goes out to tell the timekeeper that Dean Ambrose is disqualified. Dean Ambrose is in the ring trying to plead his case to the referee. The Miz rolls up Dean Ambrose. The referee runs back in, counts him out, 1, 2, 3. The Miz is the new Intercontinental Champion. We then have one of the matches that I'm hoping to God this is the last one of. Sasha Banks and Rich Swann versus Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. It was a short match. Wasn't really too crazy about it. Sasha Banks and Swann won the match, and hopefully this is the last we see of these four people together. It's one of those matches they just dug deep into the ground. They're down there with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. So then we have the kendo stick on a pole match, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. It was a decent match. I was a little bit confused on what the rules were supposed to be. Supposedly, from what I and just about everybody else on some of the message boards I was looking at, thought that the way it was stated, whoever got the kendo stick first could legally use it. Keyword is legally use it. Well, Bayley got hold of it, but later on, Alexa Bliss got hold of it, wailed away on Bayley, and got her for the pin. Which, like I said, leaves a whole lot of questions on what the actual rules of that match was. Was it once it got grabbed, it became a legal item, or was it only being that Bayley was the one that grabbed it, she was the only one that could use it? So I guess we'll find out tomorrow on Raw. We then had the cage match for the tag team titles. The Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. It was a good match. I liked it. They were using the cage quite a bit in this match. As soon as the bell rang, both Sheamus and Cesaro bolted up the side of the cage trying to get out. And what I wasn't, and part of this confused me halfway through the match. Jeff Hardy ended up falling off the cage. Well, actually, he was grabbed. Cesaro grabbed him to keep him from hitting the floor, and he ended up breaking loose, and he fell to the floor. And for a second, I almost thought that was it. They won because someone's feet hit the ringside. But turns out that both tag team partners have to hit the floor, so it's not just one person. So in order for them to win, Matt Hardy had to get out of the cage at the same time. But both Sheamus and Cesaro got out of the cage. They crawled out of the cage and hit the floor before Matt Hardy could get out as well, which I kind of like this. This is a classic cage match. The only way you can win is either climbing over the cage or going out the door. No pinfall or submission inside the cage. That's ridiculous. You know, a match like that with a cage match with a pinfall is basically just, I mean, it's a fancy match. It just has a fence around the ring. It's stupid. We then have the cruiserweight match for the title. It was a submission match. Neville versus Austin Aries. That was a good match too. As much as I hope this is their last match together, it was a good match. A whole lot of flippy shit, you know, which I want to see from the cruiserweights. Austin Aries got the last chancellery on Neville. Neville was tapping out. Unfortunately, it didn't count because he was outside of the ring at the time. So the match continued. Neville got the Rings of Saturn on Austin Aries, and he tapped out. So Neville is still the Cruiserweight Champion. We then come to the main event, the Fatal 5-Way, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Right at the start of the match, just as I predicted, Roman Reigns was sitting off to the side while Finn Balor went up against Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe went against Seth Rollins. It was a good long match. There was a whole lot. I mean, everybody mixed it up. Samoa Joe got the coquina clutch on Finn Balor. Finn Balor went out, which got Samoa Joe the win. So he's now the #1 contender and will be fed to Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire coming in July. I'm surprised they went in that direction. Everybody was saying the top two that were going to win were either Finn Balor or Seth Rollins. And like I said, I was taken completely by surprise on that one. Something tells me that there's going to be some type of either Samoa Joe is going to get injured, or they're going to have some type of a match where Samoa Joe will lose his #1 contendership to somebody. I'm just going to speculate on that. But if they do keep Samoa Joe in to go up against Brock Lesnar, that still would be a good match. You know, at least it's not Roman Reigns. So that'll do it for tonight's pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. I didn't do too well on the picks. I got 2 of them right. I picked that the Miz won and that the team of Swan and Sasha Banks won. Everybody else I got wrong. But I'm not counting the Kalisto Apollo Crews match because I didn't know anything about it until tonight. It was a good pay-per-view. I'm hoping that they move on from some of these matches, that we won't be seeing the same people again tomorrow and the weeks coming, because we got a little over, I'd say about 7 weeks until the next pay-per-view. I hope to God we don't see Austin Aries and Neville 7 more times in some form or combination. Or I know we're not going to see Brock Lesnar up, and you know, we may see him once or twice, but we won't be seeing him until the pay-per-view because he's a part-time. Stupid. But I hope we can start mixing up matches and start making new storylines. That way at least it'll make it interesting, and Raw's ratings won't go down the toilet like it has been the past couple weeks. Which I'm gonna take a guess that because of all the repetition, seeing the same people over and over and over again, that's probably one of the reasons why their ratings are tanking. Like I said, that'll do it for tonight's pay-per-view of Extreme Rules. If you liked it, hit the like button, leave a comment down below what you thought about it and what you thought about this video. I will see you all tomorrow for the Raw recap. I've been Fatal Roadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.